So the goal here is going to be to, hopefully have a YouTube channel that shows me, living as a guy who also has Huntington's disease, but we don't want it to be a big pity party or sad all the time. What we want is for it to hopefully be fun and uplifting, and, like I said, a place where people can, share funny stories and things like that. And we can all, just, kind of go down the road together. Hello, today is March 26th, 2019. It is a balmy 70 degrees outside and the cherry blossoms are blooming. And I'm going to tell you a story about the importance of being able to code. Picture it, fall 1992. Much hair, a version of me with more hair was at the College of William and Mary as a freshman. I was taking Computer Science 141 because at William and Mary they encouraged us to be well-rounded. So we all had, certain core classes we had to take in all these different areas, and to take a certain number of science classes. So I took Computer Science, which I really didn't know a whole lot about. And it turned out it was what they considered a basic programming class. We used a language called Turbo Pascal, which I don't even know if people use it anymore. But usually when I mention that to like actual programmers I know, they're like, yeah, that was quaint. But anyway, took the class and learned all the basic programming things. And what we would do is we would write programs each week, save them onto these floppy disks, which look like that, and hand them in. And then we would also print out the code. And this is back in the days before laser printers, where we had the dot matrix printers, where everything was like one long sheet of paper, and it was all perforated, which was fun. So you would print it out, and it was like this big scroll, and turn it in. And so anyway, the first assignment was we were supposed to pretend we owned a video store, and so we were supposed to create basically I think it was called a linked list of videos in a database, and then a mechanism so that you could check one out by name and then check it back in again. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Really advanced practice, an exercise.
Yeah.
You could actually use that to open up your own store.
Yeah, but I guess they figured that would, it would give us, other than that, it would just be like math. So they were like, just pretend you own a video store. So anyway, so I worked really hard on my first, program, turned it in, and I got an F. It turns out what happened was, and I had no idea whether they still do this, but when you would turn in your programs, the grad students had a computer that they used to grade them. And what they did was they wrote their own program that was basically just designed to run your program. So rather than do it manually, because it would take forever to do, actually go through the whole. Mm-hmm. So they would stick your disk in, and then their program would, try to check in and check out a video from your little database, and that was it. And it turned out that my program not only did not work, it crashed their program. So they had to reboot their system. So they got mad and gave me 0, and I was really upset, right? And so this is my very, very first time ever writing any kind of computer program. So anyway, so I went to see the professor. And the professor said, he says, don't panic. I'm the professor. I can overrule the grad students. Nothing's final. And then he said, let me see your code. So I handed him, this 25 pages. It was all one big sheet, back in the old days. And so he's leafing through it like it's, a scroll. And he's looking at it and he's like, aha, aha, aha. He says, okay, let's start with the positive. You, Mr. Gordy, have a remarkable natural grasp of Aristotelian logic. I said, thank you, sir. He said, unfortunately, computers do not recognize that type of logic. So he said, go back. I said, he basically said, you're basically writing this upside down. So I said, okay, then. So I redid it. And I think I got a C on that one because they let me redo it. But
Or they average the two grades? Or did they just completely throw out the 0?
I think I can't remember now, but
Because if they averaged it out, you got an A.
yeah, but it was the okay, the second time it worked fine. But I will never forget that. Aristotelian logic.
Now, what is Aristotelian logic?
It's, well, Aristotle's philosophy has to do with, synthesis, where you have like these. I couldn't explain it right now, but it's like where you have you synthesize premises together.
I'll have to Google that. I don't think I have
And then, but this computer logic is more like, tell me to do this and then say go.
Okay.
And I was more like, so you're going to go and then you're going to go do these things.
Do you remember your first F on a test, an assignment, whether it was in like school, like high school or college? Do you remember?
Yeah, I just told you about it.
That is your first time you got an F?
I think so.
Wow.
No, wait. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, one other time. When I remember I was in high school and in English class. And yeah, we were driving the teacher crazy. So she said, next person, we were taking like a pop quiz or something in English. She said the next person, that speaks out loud gets a 0. And I just couldn't control myself. So I got a 0 on that.
When was your last doctor's appointment, Mike?
Well, I had my last single trial treatment last Friday.
Okay.
And I think it went fine. I think it's a little hard to tell because I don't feel like I'm getting a lot worse, and I guess that could mean it's working, but it could also just mean that I'm stable.
Right.
But but I guess I take the fact that it's not like I wake up in the morning and everything's just completely different as a good sign. Hey, if you liked what you saw, like me, subscribe to my page, or leave me comments.